TRF, the resistance front, after initially claiming that it was responsible for the Pahalgam attack, has now gone back in a fresh media letter, in a fresh media release. TRF claims that its digital account was possibly subjected to some kind of a cyber attack, and that is why that claim was mistakenly made. TRF now says that it has nothing to do with what has happened in Pahalgam. To discuss that further, I'm being joined by Ishan Vani. Ishan, you have been tracking what happened in Pahalgam from day one. TRF first claimed that it was its handiwork. Now it says we have nothing to do with it. My conversations with agency officials suggest that this is a belated pullback because of the kind of protest Kashmir has seen. Is that your analysis of this latest TRF release as well?
Well, absolutely right. There is backlash on the ground. We saw that shops were shut. Every business came to a grinding halt next day after the attack took place. It was simultaneous and spontaneous. The people themselves came out on the streets for the first time possibly in 3 decades and expressed their condolences with all those who lost their lives, and also condemned the incident where they said that no religion mentioned spilling of innocent blood like this is allowed. And we saw condemnation even coming in from Mirwais Umar. But among all of this, we saw that this outfit has now backtracked from their initial claim. On the very first day when we were in Pahalgam, we received that confirmation from the group where they talked about them being responsible and a lot more. But then it is after 4 or 5 days, because of the pressure that they have and because of possibly the backlash that has been witnessed on the ground, that they have gone back on their statement. But the truth and reality is that Indian agencies believe that under a smoke screen of the resistance front, it is the Lashkar-e-Taiba which is operating. The Hizbul Mujahideen has diminished. The role of Lashkar and Jaish has increased in Kashmir, and it appears to agencies that it was the Lashkar-e-Taiba actually which carried out this attack. But ever since then, the valley hasn't been calm. People have been thinking that what next? People have been thinking, why did they kill innocents? And that possibly is the reason why now the entire matter has been twisted so that someone else could be blamed for it, and the questions and doubts could be raised about the nature of the incident. But security agencies are collecting clues and leads, and even India is ready to show proof to anyone who wants to see that who really carried out this attack. And that is why a massive team of local police, including the special investigation team, who have been time and time again responsible for locally investigating the case before they hand it over to the NIA for further investigation, that they are going to unearth the entire nexus. That's why the massive crackdown is taking place across Kashmir in the 10 districts. Immediately, police has said that go hard on those elements who are directly responsible, or those who have had a tainted past. Check their credentials once again. Check if they are in touch with some handlers, or if they are planning or orchestrating to carry out any such attacks in other parts of Kashmir Valley.
Okay. Ishan, you mentioned backlash. You mentioned backlash in the valley. I want to show you these posters in Lal Chowk. What do they say? Dear tourists, your safety our priority. Welcome to paradise. This is by the Traders Association of Central Lal Chowk. And there are such posters put up across Lal Chowk. And like I was telling you viewers, a few years ago when terrorism was still at its peak, it was unthinkable that Lal Chowk would have this kind of a vibe to it. Ishan, we have been discussing that perhaps TRF has been forced on the back foot because of the way the common Kashmiri has stood up and spoken against those responsible for Pahalgam. There was also an audio clipping released this morning on social media. Somebody who claimed to be a commander who once again tried to play with the Kashmiri sentiments. So clearly the perpetrators, the terrorists, are under immense pressure.
Well, absolutely right. And one point, they possibly would have been under pressure by the other side to create mayhem, chaos, and now they're under pressure to retract it. Possibly, they did not know that there will be such a large impact of this particular attack among the local population. We have spoken to locals extensively here, even off the camera. Even if they are shy from camera and don't talk openly. But everyone and anyone you talk to on the streets of Kashmir will tell you whatever has happened, it is condemnable, and they never will support this. Look, it also affects people's lives. Indirectly, directly, there are people who are associated with tourism. If not directly, then indirectly, artisans, craftsmen, people who are shikaras, people who, give auto rides, cab drivers. Everyone is affected by that. And then you see that they were also providing free rides. That tells you about the intensity of the situation, that many journalists who have been covering Kashmir from the last 4 decades will tell you that they haven't seen such kind of movement taking place by people on their own. Even the National Conference, PDP, other political parties came out in support once somebody started to give a call about the shutdown should be there in expressing solidarity. You have similar kind of posters pasted all over Dal Lake where they're saying sorry, with a picture of that woman sitting next to her shot at husband, that we are sorry to your sister, but we are here to protect you, and what else can we say except for a sorry? And that's why wider condemnation. The Lal Chowk where you are at, it saw a protest on Wednesday where a lot of people with black flags were sitting there protesting and raising slogans against the attack, and that is why the sort of backlash that the other side has seen, that's why they have gone on back foot. Now it will be interesting to see that what kind of reactions do further pour in, because forces have now a tighter grip on the situation. The sort of security that has been briefed up in Kashmir, particularly during the night time, to curb any movement, and particularly in the mountain ranges of Kashmir, so to not ensure that no movement of these elements take place and the operations are carried out unhindered. As we speak, there are operations going on in Kulgam, Kupwara, Bandipur and other parts of Kashmir Valley where leads are being pursued by the security forces to ensure that if there is any hiding militant there, he is shot at, he is killed, and the operations are continuing.
The last hour. Anything can happen between the bells. But what happens during the last hour is what matters the most. The biggest market swings. A close-up look at what's driving them and how the investors are reacting. Watch the most seasoned market mavens guide you through the most important hour of the trading day. NSE Closing Bell. At these times, only on CNBC TV 18 and CNBCTV18.com.
For more news and updates, all you need to do is follow CNBC TV 18 on all of our digital platforms.